again. Uh, Valentine's Day is come and gone, uh, and this one's about love. It was one of those things where I kept feeling like I need to do it, and I don't know, maybe I should have done it before Valentine's Day, but you know, I was torn on whether to do it after or before Valentine's Day because people do special things on Valentine's Day. Uh, some people don't though. Uh, but anyways, Valentine's Day is the day that everybody celebrates love, uh, and we celebrate love in different ways. Uh, Single people celebrate love with other friends, and they might not have significant others to buy for whatever, and so they do it a little different. I've known people giving Valentine's gifts to their dogs. Well, our dogs got their Valentine's gifts today. They got the pork chop bones out of the pork chops that I cooked for my wife for supper, and if they was as good as the pork chops, I'm not bragging, but uh, the pork chop bones pretty good. They like them pretty good, so you know. You need to be bragging. But anyways, uh, love, uh, and this might not be anywhere close to being a good scripture because the Bible's so full of scriptures about love. But this is one I got drawn to, and it's John chapter 13, verse 34. A new commandment I have given unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. And he's talking to his disciples in this verse. Now, like I said, I'm giving you one verse. Read the whole chapter. Go through. Actually, John 13, 14, both chapters are full of things about love. I mean, it's just cram packed full of love stories, about love and how Jesus wants us to love each other. Now, and this is before Jesus died on the cross, so this is before he gave the ultimate gift of salvation and everlasting life to us. But this was in preparation for that. You know, it's so easy in everyday life to get wrapped up in yourself, because that's the way we are. We're sinners saved by grace. We're selfish people uh, by nature. Uh, it's hard to think about other people. It's hard to love sometimes, uh, and it's also sometimes it's easy to love. Love is one of those things that it's generational. Uh, if your father and mother was not loving, then sometimes it's harder for you. Um, or if they were, you know, real loving, sometimes it's hard for you because, you know, a lot of times in those cases, the love was just expected, but yet there was problems that were overlooked inside. So love is one of those things where we learn to love each other for the good and the bad. There's the key. You learn to love people for their good and their bad. How can you love somebody that does something wrong to you? Well, how does Jesus do it to us? The message before this was forgiveness, and it was on purpose because I want you. If you didn't, go back to that one. I want you to listen to that one. Forgiveness. God said to forgive 7 times 70. Where love is much, if not more. Love is something that is you love your children because they're your children. Some people don't. You know, most people do. And so love is one of those things where it is given and it is received. Now, one of the hardest things to do is to love somebody that don't want your love. And there are times when you love somebody that don't want your love and you have to walk away. And you're not being mean by walking away because you're also loving yourself. But there you go. There you have to do the forgiveness part too. Because you forgive that person to love yourself. So love is really, really, it can be complicated, but yet it's not. Because you love other people to love yourself, and you love yourself. If you can't love yourself, you can't love other people. So here we are. Love is it's a part of everyday reality, and we throw it around. Valentine's Day and love. You see it. You see it from the end of Christmas. January comes along and you got Valentine's in February, but you got Valentine's candy right after Christmas. I mean, they're throwing it. I I wouldn't doubt if there was Valentine's candy out on the shelf during Christmas. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. Because it's another thing. Everybody expects something during Valentine's Day. Everybody expects this, they expects this. Yes, my wife has a special gift that she gets every year because I know this one time a year she can get it, only one time, and I do my best to make sure she gets it because it's special. Now, I have a bad habit of sometimes I want to make sure what I get the other person is something they'll appreciate. So I, I guess I don't put a lot of effort into it, but at the same time I do because I want to make sure it's right. And so a lot of times I'll ask you, what do you want? I'm just because the way I feel about it is I want somebody to ask me what I want too. Yeah, you know, because if you love somebody or there's certain gifts that your grandmother and God knows I'm not I'm telling the truth. There are things that you have people in your life that have got you something that to you is not special, but you never say a word because you love that person that much. Some people, oh, that's phony. You're being phony. No, not necessarily. It's still love. It's just you're doing these things you know because it's a thought that counts. Yeah, oh no, it's not always a thought that counts. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Well, no, a lot of times it is thought that counts. I mean, especially when especially when it's times when it might have been the only thing they could afford. It could have been, you know, and it's usually somebody that does something for you that you don't expect. So the last thing you want to do is crush them because you didn't like that certain piece of candy or certain thing that they give you. You know. Now God's love is something that we need to try to do. The unconditional love that God gives us, and but God also knows we can't do what He does. There is no way we can give the unconditional love that God gives us, but we can try. Uh, there's books out there that are awesome tools. for relationships, for for you kids. I hope and pray, and I think they do, that all of my kids know I love them equally. Uh, but yet, I love them differently because all my kids are different. They're all the same, but they're all different. And the thing about it is there's only two of them that are blood kin, but they all are just alike. There's so many things that are just alike about them, but there's so many things that are different about them. And that's what makes us special. Me and my wife are totally different creatures, but yet we're the same. Uh, there's things that I do that drive her crazy, and there's things that she does that drives me crazy. It's just a part of it. But yet there's things that we look at the same, look at as the same, and that's a part of love. Uh, I'm trying to figure out. There's a little more I need to say, but at the same time, I still have to go back to my daddy's saying that there's times when you stand up, speak up, and shut up. So when God tells you that's it, that's it, that's all you need to say, He's done, He's done. So I think that's for the point I am. I've been trying to go to 15 minutes. I've went over a couple times. I'm gonna go under this time, but just remember, love. If you don't do nothing else, love the people around you, even the ones that make it hard for you to love. Now, this is a little ornery, but you know how I am. The people in your life that just get under your skin, the ones that they seem to go out of their way to make your life miserable sometimes. Those are the people you really need to love. You know why? Because every time you love them after they're mean to you, guess what? That bothers them worse than if you was mean back to them. And there's actually a verse in the Bible that says that God will do that for you. That He will put hot coals on your enemies' heads. Well, love your enemy and see what that does to them. I believe that's what God was wanting you to do. I believe that those hot coals that He's talking about was not torturing them in a way like we think. It was not giving them back what they was giving us. It's not being mean like He was giving us. Not an eye for an eye and all that. I believe that God was loving them so strong back that it was eating them inside. And you forgive them. You forgive them, you love them, and then you pull yourself away. Love is the greatest tool you can have in your heart because love will help you, it will help everybody around you. I guarantee you, you go into work or you go into a bunch of people with a smile on your face, and the grumpiest one in that bunch will be smiling when they leave. Smiles are contagious. Love is contagious. Spread the love. It'll come back to you. That's it for now. We'll keep following, and you never know what I'll come up with. You never know what Lord will give me to put on here. You never know. So that's all I got for you. I'm gonna close in prayer. Lord, any of these people that are watching, Lord, I want you to bless them. I want you to love them like you do. I want you to fill their hearts with joy, even if they're having a bad day. Lord, if they have sicknesses, I don't know what they are, but you do. And you're sitting there waiting for them to ask for help. And Lord, You are the great healer. You know what tomorrow brings. We don't. I think you have great things for everybody that sees these videos. And it's not because of my face, it's because of you. So, Lord, if one person watches this video and you touch their heart, it was worth every bit of it. In your name I pray. Amen.